When roughing in a kitchen in a new single-family dwelling, if there's a dedicated circuit for a countertop microwave, it must be a 20-amp circuit and ground fault circuit interrupter protected. According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 422.15, microwave ovens require a dedicated 20-amp circuit. Furthermore, National Electrical Code Article 406.4d5 mandates that all kitchen counter outlets be ground fault circuit interrupter protected. This includes outlets intended for countertop microwaves. Microwaves can draw a significant amount of power, particularly during operation. A 20-amp circuit ensures there is sufficient capacity to manage this load without causing overloads. Ground fault circuit interrupter protection enhances safety by detecting ground faults and cutting off power to the outlet. This is particularly crucial for appliances used near water sources, like microwaves. It's important to properly label the circuit as a microwave circuit. A standard 15-amp outlet should not be used for a countertop microwave, even if the circuit is upgraded to 20 amps. Always consult the microwave manufacturer's instructions for any specific electrical requirements. To summarize, firstly, ensure the circuit is a dedicated 20-amp circuit. Secondly, provide ground fault circuit interrupter protection for the outlet. Thirdly, clearly label the circuit in the electrical panel. Fourthly, adhere to all relevant National Electrical Code requirements. And fifthly, refer to the manufacturer's specifications for the microwave. This ensures both safety and compliance with electrical standards. Not adhering to these requirements can create unsafe situations in the new dwelling. This could be in the form of a fire hazard or even possible electrical shock. Firstly, the dedicated 20-amp circuit prevents the load from other devices from causing breakers to trip. Secondly, the ground fault circuit interrupter protection on the circuit can avoid personal electrical shock. Thirdly, the proper labeling of the circuit is so future maintenance is performed correctly. These three things add up to a safe installation. A qualified electrician should do all of these things. National Electric Code Article 422.15 covers the installation of cord and plug connected microwave ovens. It states that microwave ovens shall be on a dedicated branch circuit. National Electric Code Article 406.4 Section D subsection 5 covers replacement of receptacles. It states that receptacle outlets serving countertop surfaces and kitchens shall have ground fault circuit interrupter protection. The 20-amp dedicated circuit is to provide enough amperage to handle the demand of the microwave plus any other small appliances. Using a shared circuit may result in nuisance tripping of the breaker. This is because the microwave can draw a large amount of current. Ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required on kitchen countertop receptacles because of the risk of water exposure. If water comes into contact with an electrical device, there is a shock hazard. The ground fault circuit interrupter protection device will trip and remove the power to prevent someone from being injured. Microwaves will often draw 10 amps or more, which is too much to share a 15-amp circuit with other appliances. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so be sure to consult the latest version for any changes. Local codes may also have additional requirements, so check with the local authority having jurisdiction. The 20-amp circuit should be wired with 12 American wire gauge copper conductors. Using a smaller gauge conductor can cause overheating and a fire hazard. The ground fault circuit interrupter protection device can be either a ground fault circuit interrupter breaker or a ground fault circuit interrupter receptacle. If a ground fault circuit interrupter receptacle is used, it should be the first receptacle in the circuit. This will provide ground fault circuit interrupter protection to all the receptacles downstream. The circuit breaker should be labeled with the words microwave oven or similar. This will help prevent someone from overloading the circuit in the future. It's also a good idea to test the ground fault circuit interrupter protection receptacle after it is installed. This can be done by pressing the test button on the receptacle. If the receptacle trips, it is working properly. If the receptacle does not trip, it should be replaced. Firstly, ensure the wire gauge is appropriate for the 20-amp circuit. Secondly, make sure the ground fault circuit interrupter protection device is installed correctly. And thirdly, verify that the circuit breaker is properly labeled. The overcurrent protection device should be rated for 20 amps to protect the wiring. The microwave oven should be plugged directly into the receptacle and not an extension cord. Extension cords are not rated for the high current draw of a microwave oven and can cause a fire. Firstly, the dedicated circuit helps prevent overloading the electrical system. Secondly, the ground fault circuit interrupter protection minimizes the risk of electrical shock. And thirdly, proper labeling assists in future maintenance and troubleshooting. The National Electric Code is a set of standards that are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. By following the National Electric Code, you can help to ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. The authority having jurisdiction is the local government agency that is responsible for enforcing the National Electric Code. You should contact the authority having jurisdiction to obtain any permits that are required for your electrical work. The information provided is for general guidance only and should not be considered as professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work. The electrician will be able to assess the specific requirements of your project and ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with the National Electric Code. The use of a dedicated circuit is extremely important to prevent any issues with the microwave tripping the breaker. Furthermore, the use of an arc fault circuit interrupter breaker is also important. They protect the wiring from any damage in the event of a loose connection. Arc fault circuit interrupter breakers protect against arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. An arc fault is an unintended electrical discharge that can occur when there is damage to the insulation of a wire or a loose connection. The arc fault circuit interrupter breaker detects these arc faults and trips the circuit, cutting off the flow of electricity and preventing a fire. Arc fault circuit interrupter breakers are required in many areas of the home, including bedrooms, living rooms, and kitchens. In addition to protecting against arc faults, arc fault circuit interrupter breakers also provide ground fault protection. Ground fault protection is designed to protect people from electrical shock. A ground fault occurs when electricity flows through an unintended path to ground, such as through a person's body. The ground fault circuit interrupter breaker detects these ground faults and trips the circuit, cutting off the flow of electricity and preventing an electrical shock. Arc fault circuit interrupter breakers are an important safety device that can help to protect your home and family from electrical fires and electrical shock. If you do not have arc fault circuit interrupter breakers in your home, you should consider having them installed by a qualified electrician. The 20 amp circuit will supply the voltage and amperage requirements of the microwave. Using an incorrect gauge of wire can cause a fire, and using a circuit that isn't dedicated can also trip the breaker. Firstly, the wire gauge needs to be correct. Secondly, the breaker must be correct. And thirdly, the ground fault circuit interrupter must be installed correctly. When installing the wiring for the kitchen, be sure to follow all local and national electric codes. It is important to stay up to date on the most recent codes because they are updated every few years. This is to make sure that the system is safe for the people using it. The dedicated circuit is important because other items on the kitchen countertop may be in use, such as a toaster or blender. If both appliances are in use on the same circuit, there may not be enough amperage for both. This will cause the breaker to trip, cutting off the power. It is also important to follow all of the manufacturer's instructions for the microwave oven. This will ensure that the microwave oven is installed and used safely. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical wiring and equipment. It is developed and published by the National Fire Protection Association. The NEC is updated every 3 years. The purpose of the NEC is to protect people and property from electrical hazards. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. The NEC is not a law, but it is adopted by many state and local governments. When a state or local government adopts the NEC, it becomes a law. The authority having jurisdiction is responsible for enforcing the NEC. The authority having jurisdiction may be a state or local government agency. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical work is in compliance with the NEC. The electrician will be able to assess the specific requirements of your project and ensure that the work is done safely and in accordance with the NEC. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a licensed electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to avoid electrical shock. This ensures all the wiring is safely completed in a new single-family dwelling.